Peter, a remarkable soul, confident, gifted, outspoken, engaging, captivating, sometimes arrogant, generous, caring, loving. A true entrepreneur, proving that hard work is ultimately rewarded. A man big on family values and loyalty. Overcoming devastating lows to triumphant highs, all of us here today are truly blessed to have such a fantastic individual in our lives. Here are a few words from your family, close friends, and loved ones.
My earliest memory of him is probably when I think when I was younger and I was in the car seat, and then I was in, I think if you remember this Mercedes as being burgundy, that was my only memory of the Mercedes. It was burgundy and the roof was down. I remember him driving fast, and then my mum was in the passenger, the front passenger, and she kept on telling him to slow down, slow down, slow down, and I was in the car seat, and I was just like, it was all new and exciting, because I think that was probably my first memory of speed, and just the transition from being still and everything being still around me to everything moving fast and fast paced. So yeah, I think my mum bugging out was probably the first initial memory of him anyway. So we do clash often, but I suppose as I've become older and I've become a lot more wiser, and obviously I've experienced a bit of things, and I think he kind of feels like, cool, I've been through this and I've been through that, so I've been through everything you've been through, so just listen to me. But I'm sort of like, nah, I want to go through it myself. So then that's how we kind of clash in a sense, because I sort of want to do everything and see everything for myself, but he's like, nah, I'm showing you how to do this, so you don't have to do this, because I've already done that and it doesn't work. But I'm like, yeah, you're saying it, but I want to see it, sort of thing. So I don't know, it's good, but it does have its periods where it's just like a bit tense. So, but nah, other than that, it's good. Like, I think it's good because I've learned a lot, and even though I haven't always listened to him, I try to take on a lot of things he says and just, use it into my personal experiences. So I do think he's a great role model in a sense where a lot of things that he showed me years ago that I probably didn't believe back then, it's happened, and I've understood and realized, oh, okay, so that's why he was saying it. Like, I think he taught me a lot about investments. So sometimes just because you don't see an initial result from an investment, that doesn't mean you're not going to see a result at all. And he always taught me to be patient, and there's no rush in certain areas. Take your time, think about your moves and think about your decisions, and I finally realized why that's years ago, when I was probably 5 and my brother was a little bit younger, no less than 2. He just got us instilled about chess, about the game of chess, about how strategical it is, tactical risks, and how you really have to use your mind. And I finally understand and know today how it can just, change your life, to be honest with you.
We first met, he was actually my boss. I was 17, straight out of, actually I was thrown out of school, and I went to work for Rosk Associates, and Peter had the pleasure of looking after me, and I was a handful for him. We became friends very quickly, and we realised we were from completely different backgrounds, but we shared some common beliefs, and between us we decided to go on a little journey together. And it's been a really long journey. Actually, it's 31 years this year. We had fun. We bought our first mobile phones, which were like bricks about this big. I remember the first thing that he made me do is go to Dixon's and buy a stack CD record system, and so we hocked ourselves up in debt and put loads of stuff on the Never Never, and on off we went, believing in our own hype, and we dressed for success, and we just faked it till we were going to make it. we bought quite a lot of property together, and we were buying and selling property, and I just wish we kept a few of them. Peter and I ended up with houses next door to each other in Hampstead, and at that time we just partied like two silly little boys, you know, lovely houses, lovely cars, and not two bob to rub together. So we lived together in Hampstead, right by the Heath, and we used to go running in the morning and run around the Heath, and he kept a lot fitter than I did, and you know, we had fun as, you know, guys in their early 20s, and then he got married, and he went off and he started Pride magazine, and you know, there was that whole building a business, and then I went up and I ended up doing publishing as well. So we're both publishing, and we've always been very good for each other, at motivating each other to push each other. You know, one year he'll do better than me, one year I'll do better than him, and it's been like that for the last 30 years. Where, you know, if I have a good year, he's gets, I've got to go and do as well as that, and vice versa. So it's been a great relationship for motivating and pushing each other.
I actually first met Peter in Bridge Park Community Centre in Stonebridge. I was actually there with a friend because I think Bridge Park was actually recently built then, and they had quite a lot of different events and different things going on, and they used to have recording studios there, I think. So my friend was a singer, so I actually went there with a friend to do some singing, and Peter happened to be there with a couple of his friends. I don't even know what he was doing there, but he was there, and that's how we initially met. Peter's somebody that is very much about organisation, about discipline, and about doing certain things at a certain time at a certain place. So if nothing else, he's quite strict with things like that. And with boys, teenage boys, they do need that discipline, and with mums, they will, you know, push it as far as they can, but with Peter, you can't push anything. It's either his way or no way, especially as far as the kids are concerned. So that helped him a lot, you know, just guidance.
I've known Peter coming up to 30 years. First met Peter in response to an Evening Standard advertisement for financial services. I was about 19 at the time. We kind of got on from day one. What did we have in common? Visually, both from Caribbean backgrounds. We were both sporting jerry curls at the time. You might find it hard to believe looking at Peter today, but he did have a pretty full head of hair for every circumstance, and one of them's iron sharpens iron. And very much that's a characteristic of my relationship with Peter that is relevant. I know that there's aspects of my life and my personality, my outlook on life that's been honed or sharpened or fine-tuned by my proximity to Peter, and I guess you'd have to ask him that question as to whether or not it's relevant in return.
I've known Peter 15 years in a working and professional capacity. The first meeting was actually in a Novotel hotel. The first conversation was on the phone when we were putting together or brokering a deal, and it was for a mutual friend of mine and Peter's, which is a guy called Carl George, and myself, my brother, and another business partner at the time, 15 years ago, entered the Novotel hotel to see this short 5-foot-something person. I thought he was going to be gigantic because I'd known of Peter from his days in Pride. But you know, you get these, because you haven't seen him, you kind of think everybody's 6-foot-something, and Peter was a 5-foot-something person. Our friendship grew over a period of time, like over a year, one through business, and then two, yeah, we just had a lot of similarities. Obviously, we're both Aryans. We both come from a sales background. At the time, he had a young family, I had a young family. He would come to Birmingham, stay at mine. I would go to London, stay at his. So it just kind of mutually grew out of business. I just liked him. I liked his character, liked his spirit. He's a gladiatorial spirit. I liked it. I was attracted to it, but not in that kind of way, ladies. But I was attracted to that gladiatorial spirit. You'll never know sometimes, because it depends how you know Peter. I think some people don't. Some people who know Peter socially have never seen his business side. It's two different beasts. When he's in business mode, it's not a pretty sight if you have a weak heart and you don't have no character, because he might eat you up like a little Rottweiler, which has happened a couple of times with me. But luckily, I'm made of sterner stuff. I'm from Birmingham, by the way. You Londoners say Birmingham, it's Birmingham. So you gotta, if you know him socially, he's a different kind of person. He's more relaxed socially, but when he's in business, he's a Rottweiler. And some people who know him socially, then they see him in business, I think they panic a little bit. They're a little shocked. They're like, is that the same Peter? Yes, it is the same Peter. He's got like a bit of a split personality, but over the years, I've got used to it now.
Basically, I'm Peter's executive assistant. I won't use the word PA. And I just basically support him in the business that he's basically doing. Obviously not in the side where he's talking about the bankruptcies and things like that, because I'm not a with that. But like with his, I support him with like his bookkeeping and things like that, and administration and anything else he basically asks me to do. Oh, outside of work, like the few occasions that we've met up outside of work, Peter, he's fun. He's a real fun. He's a good laugh, especially when he's had a drink. But yeah, he's a good sport.
I first met Peter at Channel U. I was head of music and promotions, and he was doing Trinity Media then. So they were doing all the advertising for the channel. So I met him, my boss Darren, who owned the channel, he had obviously done this deal with Peter, and then I met him when it came to arranging where the slots went in and whatever else, that kind of stuff. So that's where we first met. At first I thought he was quite snooty, very, very sharp and very, almost like abrasive, very assertive at the same time. I'm like, okay. And then I got to know him via the different bits that we did at the channel, and he's been a good friend and a mentor since. He's like a big brother. We did some business together, and his level of acumen, his attention to detail, and his business savvy was like, I'd never met anyone like that before. So it was like an education. It was an education. We earned good money, by the way, too, but it was also an education. And that process, he's a very endearing person, because there were things that he showed me he didn't have to show me. It could have just been business, cut and dry, you take your bit, and that's it. But he actually took time for me to actually understand the business of what was actually happening, because a lot of people do business don't understand what they're really doing, you know. They're just doing it, but you couldn't tell anyone else how to do it, if I'm making sense. But he broke it down so I knew what I was doing. And I've only met like 3 people in my I guess my professional career who have been that good at what they do and that willing to share what they knew without worrying about how much information they were actually giving you. Am I making sense? So empowering you basically, rather than just controlling you. And that kind of endeared us even closer together.
Can you tell us a little bit?
Peter is like the most serious in one end and not serious at the other end, if that makes sense. Like, you can have such a laugh and have so much like fun with him in one end, and then in the other way he's very serious and you know, could give you direction on things that you wouldn't even think of, whether it's friendship or business, if you see what I mean, in terms of his life experience and him sharing that. He's very open in that kind of way. So, you know, as I said, we've done business together, we've got money, we've had a laugh together. Like, it developed into a genuine friendship. Like, I might have something going on in my life in general, and I will call him and ask him about advice. Maybe nothing to do with business. Just could be, and it's happened, completely personal. What's your take on that? What would you do? Do you see what I mean? Or you might be doing something and actually ask yourself, what would Peter do? Without asking him. Do you see what I mean? So it's that, he's definitely an influential person. He's been someone that I definitely have learned a lot from.
I've known Peter for about, well, just over 10 years now. And we've worked together on and off for the past 10 years. Working with Peter as a boss is not always easy at times. You know, he has a very, I think that we're actually similar in a sort of way, because he has very, very strong opinions on things. And when he believes in something, you know, he is absolutely 100% behind it. And I'm sort of the same in a way as well, where if I believe in something, then I stand behind it 100%. So sometimes we clash, but, you know, I always find myself at the end of whatever we're discussing, or whatever issue we're facing on a particular project, I always find myself leaving the conversation that we had and really, really thinking about what he said. And do you know what? It may take a little while to, you know, for me to, you know, for it to imbibe in me. But, you know, usually, probably, I'd say 8 times out of 10, he's probably right most of the time. Working with Peter is very, very different to socializing with Peter outside of working hours. Within work, he is absolutely 100% focused on the task at hand, the project at hand. And that's probably one of the best things I've learned from him, is that when he believes in something or works on something passionately, whether it's just putting together an email or, you know, a contract, whatever it may be, he has almost like a laser-like focus on the work that he's doing. He cannot be interrupted. So talking to him or having a normal conversation with him during hours is not really, you know, it's not really advisable. It's not a great idea. But outside of work, Peter he's fantastic. He's caring. He's attentive. You know, if you were to say to him, you know, that, oh, something was happening in, you know, this person's life or whatever it was, he would always make sure that he keeps up with you. You know, say it's your mum or your children or whatever it is. He would always keep up with you and say to you, you know, how, you know, what's happening with this person? How are they? You know, what's the situation with that? And, you know, as a friend, you know, he's had, you know, as a friend, as a brother, as a mentor, he's had an absolutely massive impact on my life.
Little things you've probably done about Peter that you should know. If you're in his inner circle, real inner circle, he'll phone you at literally any time of night. Any time of night. I mean, like, literally, it could be like 5 o'clock in the morning. If he's got something that he needs to bounce off you, he'll be phoning you, and he's thinking it's like, oh, midday. Oh, I'm next to my wife, Peter. You know, I'm kind of sleeping, but that kind of like flew over his head. Then I have a nickname for Peter, which I call Man Friday. Why do I call him Man Friday? Because, as you know, Peter's a single guy, kind of, technically single, not married. And because he's so focused at work, he doesn't like to see any kind of females in the week until weekend. So I dubbed him Man Friday. Oh, another thing about Peter. This is the worst trait about the man, you know. The man's always on the phone that he falls asleep on you. He phones you, then he's going, Peter, Peter. Yeah, I'm awake. No, you're not, Peter. And then he put the phone down, waiting for him to ring back. Silence. So that's Peter.
I just need to just mention this and just get this out. Peter's got a problem with farting. Farting? Yes, and I'm putting that out. And what I'll just need to put a little humour into this. Peter will be sitting down, and then he will go, and then I will go, oh my gosh, Peter, did you just fart? And he'll be like, oh, can you smell it, Mars? And I'm like, yes, I can. He'd be like, oh, sorry, sis. That's when we was in the office together, and that's happened like practically every day. Earlier on today, actually, before I even came on this interview, Peter let out quite a few, thinking I didn't hear, but I did. But yeah, I thought I'll just mention that. Got you back, Peter. Murray, happy 50th. Yeah, oh, and another thing as well. This is my pet hate with Peter. When he's eating an apple, I need to record him. It's like he's making love to this apple. And I'm like sitting on my desk and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm turning around and he just like finishes the apple like so quickly. Oh, and one more thing as well that Peter does that I find quite annoying. The other day I had to name him Deep Throat Peter. He can put a whole Jacob's crackers in his mouth without breaking it in two. I mean, who does that? I mean, who does that, Peter? I don't understand. That's what he does. A whole Jacob's cracker. That's a challenge for everybody, the square one. Peter can put that in his mouth. Whole. So I called him Deep Throat Peter.
I've got to tell you a funny story about Peter. So when we first met, in the period that I stopped working with him, he was starting to, build up his profile, and one of the local papers decided to write a little story about this successful boy from Harlesden who had made it big, and there was this whole feature about this boy who was living in Maida Vale in the most beautiful, salubrious penthouse in Maida Vale, who'd started in humble beginnings. And I said, Peter, you live in All Saints Avenue. It's in bloody Willesden. It's not a penthouse, it's on the ground floor, and it's bloody horrible. He goes, yeah, but it's a great story. And he'd look at me in my Peter. And to me, that was Peter and his bravado. He'd sell the sizzle, not the sausage, and he'd always make sure that whatever he was doing, he was always telling a great story.
He always says that the most three important values in his life is family, business, and women. And I think those are some of our common interests, to be honest.
You're a friend, a brother, a work colleague, and I wish you health, strength and prosperity. I know good looks is something that you cherish, and I'm wondering if you could have it back, would you have those Jerry curls right now? Anyway, whatever you're doing, I hope you're doing it with a smile and good grace and good taste and good style, and long may that continue.
Happy birthday, Peter. Hope you enjoy your night. Don't get too sloshed. And yeah, that's it. I'm sure you will see many, many more from your sis. See you at work on Monday.
Peter, I just want to let you know that your friendship, your brothership, your fellowship, your mentorship has positively impacted my life. And not just my life, the life of my children, the life of my mum, and the life of my partner as well. The best birthday message I can give to you is to say to you that that your love, generosity, and energy will trickle down through the lives of not just your future generations, but my future generations, my kids as well, and my partner as well. So I just want to thank you for that. And I pray that in your 50th year and many more years to come, you continue to help those who need it, and you continue to impact the lives of those who need your help and your advice. Thank you.
31 years, and you're still as handsome as ever. And I hope for the next 50 years we can continue this relationship and have as much fun as we did in the first 30. Take care, mate.
Happy birthday, brother Peter. Thank you for all of your advice, for the friendship, for the mentorship, and all of the other ships that we have shared and that you have given me and have been part of our relationship. I wish you all of God's blessings and everything that you desire and require in life. Thank you.
Peter, your 50th year. Wow, can you believe it? Wish you all the best. Obviously you've got a lot planned for this year, and I know you're going to enjoy all of the events, and hopefully you'll enjoy your 50th birthday party, because I'm sure you will if you're not drunk already. But anyway, have a good birthday, have a good day. I hope everyone enjoys themselves.
You're 50, even though you still think you're 20, but you're getting there, you're getting there, you're getting there. You still need to lose a few pounds, slowly but surely. But I'm glad to have been blessed with you as a father. We don't always get on, and we're not always the best of friends, but you're the most special friend, and you taught me a lot and showed me a lot. So I just want to wish you a happy birthday.
Peter, my good friend, on your 50th birthday, I wish you an abundance of blessings. I know that you pretty much got everything you want, apart from one thing, brother. You know what that one thing is? You know what that one thing is? Do you want me to reveal it to the world? You need a damn wife again. That's what you need. I'm just revealing it out there. So all you women, come via me and I'll tell you how to win the man's heart. But Peter, you know I love you like a brother. I wish you an abundant success. I know all the things that you've personally helped me with over the years. And like I said, I've only got one brother, but if I had a second brother, you'd be that person. And I just want you to remember something that you kind of made an impact in my life a long time ago when you gave me, I can't see it on the camera, but remember you gave me a Bible and you inscribed in it, and I don't think you remember the inscription, but I'm just going to read it to you. To my friend Robert, I sincerely trust the most godly inspired asset will often renew your mind and heart and your higher spiritual existence. The undisputed presence of the Most High God who reigns supremely above every single matter and principality. Further, I trust you shall receive a continued enlightenment and be filled with the precious Holy Spirit. God bless you abundantly with wisdom and knowledge and understanding. And those exact words I echo back to you, brother. Have a great 50th.